some reason this WCPO website just keeps on rolling and rolling, so let's just get the main bits. Hundreds protest in support of 21-year-old Northern Kentucky murder victim as suspect makes a first appearance. So Wayne Haggard told police that he shot Dan Likiko. Burlington, Kentucky. Hundreds of people marched through Burlington to remember a 21-year-old shot and killed in Florence. Dan Likiko was found shot inside his vehicle along Winthrop Circle on April 22nd. The suspect in his murder, 38-year-old Wayne Haggard, made his first court appearance Friday. Likiko's friends and family walked it from the Boone County Public Library to the courthouse for Haggard's hearing, chanting "Justice for Dan," carrying signs that "We love you, Dan. Black Lives Matter." We are very happy to see the community come together to support Dan, who is our brother who died for no reason. Many of those involved in the protests were members of the Congolese community in northern Kentucky, and the Congolese flag could be seen wrapped around the shoulders of multiple people. Likiko's family moved here from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2015. There's a lot of things that's going on in Congo. There's a lot of internal strife, civil war. There's also the cobalt mines too. So for the computers and for the iPhone users, there's a lot of computer minerals that are being dug up. So just a young man, 21-year-old, being killed by the neighbor. We cannot live like that. It's a very hard time for us. Initial investigation by police revealed Likiko was involved in some type of altercation with people on Wintergreen Court, which led to shots being fired. Haggard's family claims that computer technology student threatened him. Likiko's mother was in attendance. She was visibly emotional as her son, Likiko's older brother, Romuald, spoke. It's crazy. I'm just trying to put the pieces together over exactly what happened. But there's no explanation at all because he was not on his property. They're calling it self-defense. That's not self-defense. Judge Marshall Thomas deemed Haggard a danger to the community and set his bond at $1 million cash. His case has also been moved to a grand jury. Haggard has a preliminary hearing set for April 24th. So the reason why this is coming up, that was an older article, but the reason why this has come up is because the jury is going to find the Haggard guy, Wayne Haggard, guilty. So this is Wayne Haggard right here, and I'll just leave it on the picture. This just came out 3 days ago. Jury finds suspect guilty in fatal Northern Kentucky shooting. I haven't heard anything that makes this shooting okay. The guy is sitting in his car. He comes out of his property and shoots the guy who's sitting in his car. It doesn't say that the guy lunged for him, that he had a knife, that he had a gun, that he threatened to do something to him. They had some sort of argument, and then he goes into his car, and then the guy walks over to his car and shoots him, and then the police are called, and then he just turns himself into the police as a... So this is Boone County, Kentucky, named after Daniel Boone. It's also the same place where that one guy, that Nazi in Charlottesville, he ran over Heather Heyer. He came from Boone County. Margaret Gardner came out of Boone County. Beloved, the one that ran across the river and killed her own kids during the times of slavery. So a man was found guilty in a fatal shooting following a fight in Florence last year. Following a fight. So there was a fight. What, did the guy hit him back or something? Okay, so Wayne Haggard was convicted of murder on Thursday. Haggard shot and killed Dan Likiko after a fight. Likiko was found dead in his car on Winthrop Circle area near Hopeful Church Road and U.S. Highway 42. Hopeful Church Road, huh? There's a little church over there where Margaret Gardner on Richwood Road. That's where Margaret Gardner used to. Haggard was found shortly after with a gun, reportedly admitted to shooting Likiko. The jury recommended 28 years in prison. 28 years in prison. I wonder how many years that sheriff in Letcher County will get. You think he'll get 28 years? And then they removed that case, too. They removed that case to West Liberty, Morgan County. That's like 4 counties north. You're supposed to be tried within your own district, within the vicinity of your own district. Let's see. I would like to extend my most heartfelt sympathy to the Likiko family on the loss of the son and brother. They have shown tremendous grace and dignity throughout this process, the Commonwealth Attorney Louis Kelly said in a social media post. So that's Haggard. That's good. That's good. This is the court system actually working. They said honors the man with the vigil. Dan Likiko was shot and killed in Florence 1 week earlier. Police found him in the driver's seat of his car on Winthrop Circle. Officers arrested Wayne Haggard, 38, the night of the shooting. He's charged with murder and being held on $1 million bond. Investigators say Likiko was involved in a fight that led to the shooting. That WCPO article, it went on and on. It said how he was a technology student, and then they just said it was alleged this and alleged that. Hundreds go to the courthouse because it would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? You had an argument with this guy, and was there a fight? And so my guess is he got the better end of him. And I would also guess that he initiated the fight, and then the Congolese man gets the better end of him, sits in his car, and he's just so pissed off. He's like, oh yeah? Well, this is a racist town, so I could do as the hell as I please. So this seems like there might be some more detailed. Was shooting at the Northern Kentucky subdivision justified or murder? So there's Haggard right there. Arguments at trial. This is Quinlan Bentley, Cincinnati Enquirer article. Let's go through some of this. A Northern Kentucky man is on trial accused of fatally shooting an unarmed man after a fight in a Florence subdivision. He claims it was self-defense. Wayne Haggard's attorney said he was concerned for his and his relatives' lives when he opened fire on 21-year-old Dan Likiko. Also, the age difference, 38 years old versus 21, so he's half his age, who in April 2023 was found shot inside his parked car on Winthrop Circle, just a few houses from where Likiko lived with his family. So he's only a few houses down, basically right where he lives. He's only a couple houses down the street, sitting in they said, the driver's side, probably the driver's side. They just keep saying he was found inside his parked car. Prosecutors argue the evidence doesn't support that Likiko, who was outnumbered and without a weapon, posed a threat to Haggard. Outnumbered. So there was more than just one person. He also didn't have a weapon. What the fuck? So this is just a KKK lynching? The murder trial, like I said, that Charlottesville, that guy who was in the fucking car and just got sick of the protesters and started ramming people with his car. He was from Boone County, so there is a racist element there. Boone County rebels. The high school used to have a Confederate flag on the floor of its basketball gym or something, so I don't know if they still have it or not. However, prosecutors argue that evidence doesn't support that Likiko, who was outnumbered without a weapon, posed a threat. The murder trial began Monday. It's expected to wrap up before the end of the week. Haggard, 39, was living with his mother on Winthrop Circle. Interesting. So the racist was living with his mother. Invited family members over for a cookout on the night of the shooting. His attorney, Ryan Beck, said during opening statements, he and his family, so you lost. This guy lost, right? Ryan Beck, is he a bad attorney or did he just have a bad client? He and his family grew concerned about an unfamiliar car parked facing the wrong way outside his mother's house. What is wrong? That car is parked the wrong way. I've seen people park. I mean, you're supposed to, like, on the right-hand side, you're supposed to, like, go in the same way as traffic, but I've seen people park the opposite way, too. It's not, I don't even know if that's a law. He and his family grew concerned. Added some in the neighborhood were on edge due to a recent auto theft and reports of vandalism. In court filings, prosecutors said there were no reports of the vehicle making excessive noise, suspected drug activity, or anyone inside the vehicle making threats towards anyone involved with the Haggard gathering. When Haggard and his brothers approached the man sitting behind the wheel, so he was in the driver's, they confronted Likiko, and a fist fight broke out. So they're probably just like, get out of here, man. You're not in the right neighborhood. Get out of here, man. It's kind of like, I live here. Haggard told police that after the fight, Likiko threatened to shoot and reached into the car, prompting him to open fire. Oh, I'm going to shoot. I'm going to shoot with what? Your finger gun? I'm going to shoot with what? Little... I mean, this all sounds like bullshit. This sounds like bullshit. Likiko was shot 5 times and police found him dead in the driver's seat with the car running, prosecutors said. The only gun recovered from the scene was Haggard's. There is no question about who did it, said Assistant Boone County Commonwealth's Attorney Joe Dolgas, adding that witnesses who overheard the fight didn't recall mention of a gun, and video of the incident also showed no mention of a gun before the shooting. Video of the incident. Video. There's video of it. Overheard the fight. Okay. Likiko was simply trying to get back home that night but never made it to his front door. Prosecutor said there's fact and there's fiction. The facts in this case show the defendant intentionally shot and killed Dan Likiko while he sat in his car and that it was not self-defense. Beck said that after the shooting, Haggard holstered his gun, waited for officers to arrive, and immediately told police that he shot Likiko. The attorney also played audio of a Florence police detective saying Wayne believed that Dan Likiko was retrieving a weapon from his vehicle and felt he had to shoot to prevent someone from getting hurt. Wayne was justified in acting in self-defense, Beck said, not only self-defense but also the defense of the others around him. Haggard is expected back in Judge Richard Brueggemann's court Tuesday morning. Court records indicate the trial is scheduled to last 3 to 4 days. 3 to 4 days. So that's... the damn system works, right? The system worked. They try to say, oh, it was self-defense. Nothing's self-defense about this. Nothing's self-defense. They saw a black man in a car and then he was, parked the wrong direction. And they're sitting there acting like, he's living with his mother, had to get together with these families, so he's getting all hyped up with all their fucking racist extreme. Now, there was some crime, in auto theft. That's pretty big, an auto theft. But if it's one guy in a car, he ain't going to steal a car and then leave the car there. I don't understand how you would suspect him of stealing car. Yeah, you're on edge because crime's happening. Can you just presume that anybody who crosses your path could be, crimes are happening. Like what? People just shooting people? That's a crime too. So this seems like justice was served. Justice was being established. When it comes to the laws of America, you're supposed to also protect freedoms, right? So I would like for people to actually read their civil liberties when it comes to resolving disputes. Imagine if he would have just looked at the Constitution and said, okay, yeah, I have a right to bear arms for self-defense, but if it's not a self-defense situation, well, I got other options. The Constitution says that I could petition and assemble and speak and pray and write a letter. I could use the press. I could be silent. I could use the cops in the courts. I could use contracts in a speedy and public jury trial with impartial juries and vote, run for office, use witnesses and evidence to prove his point. Instead of being a goddamn criminal, instead of being a criminal society, I'd rather have a civil society instead of a criminal society. A criminal society who just goes around robbing and raping and torturing and abusing and kidnapping and killing and arson and maims, bears false witness and molests and oppresses and terrorizes and criminalizes. I'd rather have a civil society that uses the freedoms that we have. Those are all nonviolent means. They're also, for self-defense, you got a right to bear arms, right? But there's a lot of the civil liberties that a lot of people don't talk about, right? Use the cops, courts, be silent, all the things I just said. Petition, assemble, speak, pray. Instead of a criminal society. I'd rather have a civil society instead of a criminal society. It seems like instead of being a fucking racist pig, he could have, opened up the Constitution and maybe read a couple sentences of the damn Constitution. So, yeah, Wayne Haggard, it sounds like justice had happened. It sounds like justice had happened to me. I can't see how you could even justify the damn thing. We told him to leave. He didn't leave. We got mad. He's a black guy. So I shot him. That sounds more likely to me. I was with my friends. We were all getting drunk. I haven't really done anything with my life. And the black dude was parked in the wrong direction. We started confronting him, and he started mouthing back at us. He started back-talking. Don't you back-talk me. Don't you dare back-talk me, boy. So that's what child abusers say. So, to say that somebody's reaching inside their car for something? Are you a police? That's what the cops will say, right? If you say, all right, get down. Don't reach for nothing. He was reaching. Man, he was reaching. Maybe he was trying to, pop the damn emergency brake, right? So he could get the fuck on, Maybe he dropped a pencil. Maybe he dropped his keys. He was reaching. Is that even a good enough reason for the cops to shoot somebody? He was reaching. I told him not to reach, and he started reaching. I didn't know what he was reaching for. And then they said he was outnumbered, so I wonder how many people were confronting him. They also said that there's a video, which that'd be interesting. Who was videotaping it? I mean, the police would show up with a lapel camera, but there was videotape beforehand? Interesting.